going to be doing a review today of ultralight one-man pyramid tent. I've been wanting to do this review for a while. I got it about a year ago, and when I got it there were no reviews on online that I could find for it, and it's still pretty rare to find a decent review where it actually has opinions rather than just a video being put up and taken down. So this one is it's an unbranded tent that I got off eBay. This one for about 35 quid. I've seen them quite frequently. They're on eBay and things like AliExpress and Wish for about 40 to 45 pounds. So the price I got it at was really good. I want to show how it goes up, how it comes down, my thoughts on it, and some thoughts on what I think could be improved, because I think there are certainly some improvements that firstly they could make in the design of it, and secondly just it's simple improvements that you can make yourself to it. So the tent itself is pretty small. You know, that's quite a nice size for a tent bag. I've certainly seen like sleeping bags in bigger, and even roll mats in bigger bags. So it will go quite nicely inside a pack. And like I say, it's a ultralight tent that sets up with one trekking pole. So that's what I've got with me today. So, move these out of the way. It does set up in a tent first, which is a little bit annoying. I prefer tents that set up out first. I think they give a bit more versatility. They're a bit easier to set up for me. You don't have to worry about rain. You get your outfit first, and then everything's dry. It doesn't take long to get the inner tent up to this though, because there's only 4 pegs to it. One, two, three, and 4. And that is then inner tent up already. So like I said, even though it does set up in the tent first, and while I prefer the outer tent to go up first in case of rain, it really doesn't take long to get this inner tent up. So you're not going to be hanging about for ages with your inner tent getting wet, because after this and the next step, you're then already able to kind of just straighten that out, and most of your inner tent's now protected from the rain anyway. Put that one in first just to stop the other pegs, stop the pole falling down while you're putting the pegs in. You might find while you're setting it up, you need to titivate the position of some of your outer corner pegs. So for that purpose, I don't put them in all the way at first until you've then got it set up how you want it. And when you've got them roughly whereabouts you want them, you can then put them all the way in. So I've got one peg on each corner, and then another peg halfway along each of the sides. And that's it. That is it, the tent up. So it's quick to pitch. Doesn't take very long, so maybe about 5 minutes to pitch. Like I say, even though it is in a tent first, you're not hanging about to get it up. Now that, annoyingly, is all the pegs they provide. They provide, I think it's 12 pegs, which is not enough for your guidelines. So that's, for me, the first thing, the first improvement that can be made. So what I did, I bought a number of these little lightweight aluminium pegs, and I've just, normally what I do, I leave those steel pegs at home. It just comes with these steel hook pegs. I leave them at home. I take my aluminium ones. They are an awful lot lighter weight. I think I've got about 20 of them versus 12 of them, and they're still lighter in the pack. The other thing I added to this, didn't come with these, just came as a guy line. So I added these little rings. They're quite nice and lightweight. I think it cost me like £2 or something from eBay. So they weren't expensive either. Little aluminium rings. You can get plastic ones or other design metal ones. You can also, if you really want to save weight, you can learn a knot that works just as well. But I like these little rings. So it's got 2 vents up at the top, one here and one on the other side. It's also got, for some reason, 2 doors. It's got doors on each side. I don't think that's necessary. That is, for me, a design flaw. I think it's a one-man tent. 1 door would be fine, and it would save weight. It'd also probably give it more stability, more structure on the outer tent. I also think where they've put the guy lines is wrong. They've put them on one on each of the shorter sides. For me, I would prefer to them to have one on each corner, because that is another drawback. Now, this is actually probably the best, surprisingly the best I've ever pitched it, because all the sides, for once, are pretty taut. Normally, you get one side at least that's drooping, and these ones are actually not so bad. So I've done very well. But you've got essentially 4 doors
because you zip it out the middle. Got Velcro flap, and then just like a YKK kind of zip. And you can roll up the door. It's only got one toggle point, so it's not the greatest. Not the greatest because it does end up kind of leaving a bit of flap, but still leaves, you know, leaves a decent opening. And you can, if you want, hook that off the peg, hook that up as well. And you got the same on the other side as well with that door. And you got your inner. You've got quite a decent vestibule size, very large size vestibule, and the same on the other side. You've got a vestibule. That one's a little bit smaller. You'll have one that's slightly smaller than the other. And oh, wow, this is the best I've ever pitched this. Normally, all the other times I've used it, including last night, we've got drooping on the sides, and usually one of the sides is very close to touching the outer tent. This one is actually pretty well pitched at the moment. So you've got your inner tent with bathtub floor. You do have two doors, one that side, one this side, so you can get to both vestibules. This side's way big enough to fit a pack in there, easily big enough, and then you can put like some just if you want your shoes on that side, keep them out of the way. They do have as well tie-up points, but again, just the one tie-up point on each door, so you kind of end up with a kind of hanging, saggy bit of fabric, but you can kind of try and pull it through as best you can so it's mostly out the way. Again, there's your tie-up point, but you end up with this kind of saggy hang of it. Big design flaw for me is this. Now for me, this is the wrong way up. I know I've seen a fair number of these tents. A lot of them seem to do it this way, where your trekking pole goes upside down. For me, this is too unstable. If you were to flip it the other way, have the trekking pole into the ground, it's actually in the ground. It's not going to slide. You know, that's the big problem with that. I had it up yesterday, and I know the kids were running about and playing, but it fell down twice, you know, just through the course of the day, and that's not good enough. The other thing I think, if they were to flip it round, you could have it a setup where it does actually set up outer first, and then the inner tent hangs from the outer. That would be an awful lot better way of doing it. It'd be a lot more user-friendly, I think, especially if instead of having pegs for each of these as well, you were to use elastic cord. You could have them hook onto the pegs of the outer tent. So again, you're saving weight. It's only 4 pegs, but save extra weight, have this more stable, and just have it set up easy. You put the outer tent up, and then you get in, you're nice and dry, you got a bit of space, and then you hook your in tent up. I'm going to put a sleeping pad in there so you can kind of see size, and then I'll probably show you how to put it down. So here it is with a sleeping pad inside. This is a pretty old Thermarite ProLite Plus regular size one. It's probably about 10-15 years old, this one, so it's quite well worn. But you can see decent size in there. Loads of space around the sleeping pad. I normally sleep on actually a bigger one, which is kind of a knockoff of like the Thermarest Neo Air. Again, cheap Chinese non-branded one, but it's an awful lot bigger. It's like that kind of thickness, and it's longer, a bit wider as well, and that fits in here absolutely fine. I've never had a problem with it. And usually, again, loads of space to the sides. I'm just going to hop in. I'm going to lie down. So with this one, on this pad I don't actually have any problem. Maybe it's because I've pitched it fantastically this time, but normally on my taller pad, I certainly have it where my feet are touching the netting, and my head would be normally touching the netting here, but I kind of tend to sleep kind of curled up a bit, roll over, raise my knees, so I'm usually away from the netting. But if you are a bit taller, I mean, I'm 5'9", and if you are a bit taller, you like sleeping on quite a thick pad, something to be aware of. The netting can get in your face, especially if you've not managed to pitch it as well as I have this time. And like I say, that is quite a common thing where I've not pitched it very well, and it's usually droopy a little bit. There's not many bells and whistles here. No pockets or anything. There is a little hook point just up there for a lantern or something if you want. And like I say, plenty of storage on that side for a pack. You've got even more, you know, you fit your pack down there. You've got space here for cooking and things if you do need to do it in your vestibule. And there's plenty of space. You could have like your spare clothes down there. Some electronics up here if you've got your head torch to hand. It's decent sized space. I quite like the size of the space, especially for the price of it. The big drawback for this specific one is the colour. The cheapest way for me to get it was in this colour, this lovely fluorescent yellow colour, which, while it's not horrendous, this safety officer yellow, it is terribly attractive to flies. They love it. They're already on it. I've only just set it up and they're already on it. So you get loads of flies on this. You can wake up in the morning, there's all of them up there. So the bug netting is a definite must on this. You can get them, I've seen them since in other colours, and if you're going for one, I'd probably suggest like the dark green if you can get it. They do a dark green that I've seen, which won't be so bad. And if you're in the UK, anyone who does wild camping knows it's illegal in most of the UK, so you got to go stealth. This is not stealth. This is not stealth in the slightest. Next, I'll show you again. Look, flies. They love it. They love this colour. But yeah, it's not stealthy at all, this colour. But you'll also notice size-wise, although it's a decent size inside for a one-man, you know, there's huge storage space. You've got decent size in the actual inner tent, so you can, you know, lay out, and there's still room to the sides of you for your items. If you've got a book or a head torch or something, you can have them up by your head. You can have a hat up there. Usually it is actually quite a big tent. The floor plan of this tent, the footprint of it, you know, that's a one-man tent. That's a two-man tent. Really not much in it, footprint-wise. The only difference is these poles go up and over, whereas these, there's only one pole and the walls go in and up. So that's why this is a one-man tent and that's a two-man tent. Although if you didn't have the bug netting, if you did just have the outer, you could fit 2 men in it easily, very easily. But like I say, this colour, don't even try it. Don't try going without the bug netting in this colour. You'll be mobbed, you know. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pause again, and then I'll show you quickly how it takes down, folds back up. Now we've seen how it goes up and what it's like. We'll bring it down. Go for, tend to do it in quite a methodical way. I go for the 4 edges and then the 4 corners before I bring it all the way down. I don't know why. These pegs are really very simple, these pegs, and they're quite easy to get in and out the ground, probably a bit easier to get in and out than the aluminium ones, but when you've not got enough pegs for the actual tent itself, is not the best thing in the world. And I'll just show you before I put it away completely. I did actually have a bit of a mishap with it, and me and the kids actually broke it. I had to restitch this one, I think it was, I restitched, because me and the kids broke it. But when you compare that to the actual stitching that you see on it, that's the actual stitching. That's my repair job, you know. Not too horrendous, not too dissimilar, which shows you kind of the budget we're talking on this. It is a cheap tent. They've got to save money somewhere. They save money in the manufacturing process. But when you consider the price of it, if you wanted to go ultralight, it's actually pretty decent. The outer tent down and rolled away, and then we'll put the inner tent down. I will say this, it is a tent without any poles, so technically you don't actually have to worry about rolling it. I tend to just for neatness, but if you're in a bit of a rush, and wild campers, I'm looking at you. If anyone's woken up on a morning and heard a tractor and thought, ooh, I've got to get out there, you don't even have to roll it. It's you know, it's a not got any poles. Grab your bag, stuff your tent in it, just like you would your sleeping bag. Just use it as a stuff sack. I roll it for neatness. That way I know whenever I get it out where I'm starting with it. I'm starting from the same point I left off last time. Always it comes out, goes up the same. If you are in a rush, you can use that as an option. That's a benefit these rodless tents have over a traditional one with poles. It doesn't take very long to get it away anyway. So if you are in a rush, it doesn't take long to do that, but you can save yourself a couple of steps of laying it out and rolling it, so you can be even quicker with it if you really wanted to. So, all in all, I don't mind it. For the price, it's pretty good. For me, specifically with this one, the colour is my main drawback, and I have problems pretty much every time I try and put it up. One side's droopy, so it can be a bit annoying, and certainly when you accidentally catch that pole and your tent comes down around you, it's pretty darn annoying. You've got to have it quite well firmly wedged in, that pole. So if you are looking to get into ultralight on a budget, it's a decent option. It's pretty small, will fit in a pack, only weighs about 1 kilogram, not including the pole, and you can do things to drive that weight even further down, you know, change your pegs out, drive your weight down further, so it is a decent option. For myself, I'm probably looking to get rid of it. I have seen one that I prefer the design of. It uses 2 trekking poles rather than 1, and it's more of kind of ridge tent design, which is only about 80 quid. So for me, I'm still not talking mega money. I'm probably going to do this will be my first video, because I want to review this tent specifically, because I didn't find any reviews, and I want to do that. But I'm probably going to do maybe a couple more videos, see if people are interested in what I've got to say on things, because I do really believe that ultralight can be on more of a budget. I've seen the big thing for me, I looked up YouTube ultralight budget video, and the budget was about $650. To me, that is not budget. That is mental, especially if you're looking to get, you know, you're a hiker or even someone who just wants to get out into the wilderness and try it, and you're looking to get a kit on a budget and try it and see if you like it first. You know, it can be done so much cheaper than these budget videos are showing you. You don't have to be going out and buying a Dyneema Fabric Z-Packs single skin tent that weighs 1 ounce and fits in your back pocket. You know, you can do it. You know, you could get this, about 1 kilo. It's a small size that will fit in a bag. That is a good tent for an ultralight backpacker. It has its drawbacks, yes, but if you get practiced with putting it up, I mean, I've only set it up a handful of times, about 4 or 5. I've used it 4 or 5 times. So the more you try and practice and put it up, you'll find it easier and better to do. And certainly for the price, I think if you're looking to get into something, it is a good price. Just try and get one that's not Dayglow yellow. But I'll probably do like an overview of my budget pack, of my gear list, and then maybe individual reviews of a couple of budget items on there, and some tips on how you can get budget gear without breaking the bank. So hopefully you enjoy this video. If you are interested in what I'm kind of planning to talk about in the future, let me know and I will get round to it. So maybe thumbs up, and I don't know, if you are interested, subscribe so you can see when I put out the next one, because I don't know when that'll be.